Hey, we're back. Back with you. Yeah, now this time we're here and we're going to read some comments. And of course, I know last week it was a pre-recorded show. So, well, they're all pre-recorded, but that one was done in advance because I was actually out of state. So, we're back here, and now we're going to go ahead and read through your comments from the I'm Not Really Here Collectors Radio. All right. But so the first one up is by Harrison Mantooth. Interesting episode, BATJAC. Thanks for sharing. Back in the day when I had a young family, I felt the need to keep working on a job that I hated so much. I was actually afraid to quit and try to find employment in another field. Fear that somehow my family would suffer because of me in the end. I was the one who actually suffered mentally. There is a lot of truth to that. You know, when you are working someplace that you just absolutely hate, it really does. I mean, mentally, it is so wearing on you. And I work with a guy currently right now that, he's probably close to, he's in his 70s. And he had told me something, and he said, he goes, I worked in the grocery business all my life. And he goes, and there is an upside to that and a downside to that. The downside, he goes, I'm not exactly rich, but he's like, I got my house, I got my retirement, yada yada. He said, but some people have made the ultimate sacrifice, and yeah, sure, they made a lot of money, but then they're crippled for life. And that's something he told me, that that he is glad that at his age he's going out and he's fishing and he's camping and he's doing all those things. There is something to be said about that. So that fella I work with, that's interesting that he had mentioned that to me over the last month or so. All right, I got to a point that I was taking 2 Valiums when I got home from work. Not good. I finally got the nerve to quit that job and moved away from that area with all the bad memories. Ballistol is great on just about anything. Yes, it is. I keep a couple of cans on hand at all times. Stan in Idaho. Yeah, Ballistol definitely is. But, Stan, there is a lot to say about that. Jobs that mentally wear on you. Jobs that I got a friend back home. He's a plumber. He works for a really big plumbing company and everything. He is younger than me, I think, by almost 10 years. He's definitely, he's younger. So, but he is messed up. I mean, his shoulders are messed up and all that from all the labor intensive stuff that he does, so there is a trade-off there. A good buddy of mine, he served in the military, he served in law enforcement. His body's not exactly in great shape either, so there is a sacrifice that people pay for that kind of stuff. And I still want to continue doing things that I enjoy doing when I get to those later years. I don't care about if I'm not rich or something, I just want to still have a good quality of life. All right. Okay. And on the other note, that's why some people chose not to have families, and I'm one of those people that chose to just be a solipsis. All right. As my favorite book would say. Slimfire 54. Great story, JW. And you made the right move in your heart. Yep, I do. I certainly do, because I have gotten to experience and do things out here that I was not going to be able to do over there. I knew that for sure. I did the same thing 27 years ago, and it was the best move I could have ever made. I use Ballistol oil too. It's all around cleaner. Yeah. Good video. Thanks for the video, Slim. You are welcome. Stephen K. Thanks for sharing some of your experiences, BATJAC. I agree that life is short and best to follow your passions when possible. You are right. Life is short. And in fact, coming up, I'll share something with you on a little ticket I got. That's on another show. When it comes closer to that time, I'll let you guys know how that goes. Finding that work that you look forward to each morning and the thing that gets you out of bed every day is important. That is very true. You don't want to get up dreading to go to that job, because if that's the way it is, you need to find another job. You need to find something that you like to do, that you want to do, and go do that. Because you know what, things have changed so dramatically in time, and you don't want to be sitting there in a chair or in a bed wishing that you had done something different and at time. And there's way too many people that are saying that and doing that, and I'm not going to be one of them. So just, go out there and grab it and, chase it down, because it ain't going to come find you. The key is to be completely honest with yourself. If you lack the skills, then put in effort to get those skills you need to pursue your dream. Yep. That's right. I said it before. I was working a job I absolutely hated, and I took a chance and went down and started working at the gun counter for the Sports Authority, and that was when everything changed for me. That was when everything changed. I started to do gun counter work, gun shops, and all that, and I gotta honestly say I've been enjoying every minute of it. And when you're not doing that, or when I found that I wasn't doing it, I was not happy. So realized real quick that that's what I wanted to do, and that's where I need to keep going and pursuing into. So, all right, an Angry Ranger. Yep, you only have one shot at life. As a kid in the 50s, I wanted to be a professional soldier, and a peace officer, a gunsmith. I accomplished all those dreams. That's awesome. That is awesome. Now I'm in my 70s and long retired. I have my own range and just 30 paces from my door. That is the American dream, my friend. That's a good. Definitely worked hard to earn that. I shoot, load all my ammo, and maintain my gear. But I am glad that I was able to live my life that I pursued. As to the rust phobia, yeah, guilty as charged. Living in the woods of East Texas, the average humidity is 78%. I've used Balisol and Cleanse Oil for decades. I have not heard of Cleanse Oil, so I have to check that out. Recently, I've been using York's wax products on some of my weapons. Fantastic stuff, all natural composition, and zero petroleum. Preserving the metal and wood with York's wax has been successful. In time, I've been using it. Oh, okay. I'll have to check that stuff out. You got me thinking about other things. And that's one thing we all share, all these things here, right here on the Collectors Radio, that we can share. And each and everybody will check it out and try it. Squibload tried the Four Roses bourbon. All right, made in Texas by a very nice lady that's incredibly talented. York's gun cleaning solvent is chemical free, and that's always good. It removes every bit of carbon and dirt in seconds, leaving a trace amount of carnauba wax. Buttercream wax is something else as well. Smear it on, buff it down, and you're done. Shines up well, and no moisture gets onto the weapon. That's all right. Those Freddie, this is from Joe P, my man Joe. Swig of coffee for Joe. Those Freddy Krueger glove build videos were fun. Good luck with the new job, JW. Yeah, and I still enjoy, I got to create a section in the back here to make more of them, because I really enjoy making them. So, and I know on the other channel I've been lacking on getting some material out there, but I'm going to work on it. So Joe, I know you're subscribed over there as well, so stay tuned, buddy. We're going to try to make some changes here. All right, CZ 9mm USA, BATJAC, always great to see you. Hang in there, brother. Stay safe. B9 USA Senior, thank you guys. And you know what? And I tell you, he's got a video out. It's on the Beretta channel, I believe, on the new standard manufacturing 1911 GI model that they got, which is really cool. I like that gun. I like the way it looks. Of course, I'm a sucker for all the GI plain Jane guns, so go check that out. I think you're going to find yourself kicking the tires and wanting to get one. Jerry Johnson II, I'm almost done completing my PSA AR-10 Gen 3 rifle build in 308 Winchester. All right. I hope we're going to get to getting it all done. And you know what? Good things come, you know, as you've been working on it for a while, I see. You know, we've been commenting here. I just got done a PSA AR-10 charging handle to change the bolt, to charge the bolt better. All I need to do is get a compensator to minimize the recoil, and a lot of 308 Winchester 7.62 by 51 ammo. Keep up the awesome Collectors Radio Show, JW. Yeah, the ammo is not cheap, isn't it? My buddy Bruda, what's up, brother? All right, Hawaii will always be with you, bro. The mana is part of your soul. Just miss hanging out with you at the shop and getting plate lunch. I do too, my friend. I really do. That's the one thing, you know. I used to love hanging out in my shop down there. My friends would come by, hang out with me. I mean, I never worked a day in my life down there. I tell you, it was, you know, I did my own thing. I didn't have to answer to, you know, stuff, and I didn't have to worry about some big, you know, jefe coming by and breathing down my neck, telling me to move buckets somewhere else or do something. Oh, don't make, you know, none of that. I ran my own show. Had my friends come down there, and what better to hang out with your friends and talk story with everybody and hunting stories, and tell you it was the life. I tell you, that was definitely some good times. Good times. Doug Rogers, I like your videos. Had to laugh at the comment about selling Glocks and AR-15s at a gun shop. Couldn't agree more. I can't even tell you how many firearms I have in 2 safes, but there never has been and never will be a Glock or an AR-15. But that's just me. Hey, you know, that's nothing. I never had an AR myself ever until just recently, and I only bought it because of the cool old school factor of it, you know. Also, Ballistol is all I use here in humid Florida. Again, that's nice to hear more people from these states that are, you know, with the humidity, that, you know, of course, of the ocean, the salt water, everything. Although I use a spray can and a microfiber cloth for the exterior, plus my safes are inside at 40%, 45% humidity. Wow. Yeah, and Samueli, sorry, I don't know how to read your comment. All right. Okay, so we got through there, and we're back out at you with everything, so close that up. And so I'm going to talk about a couple of things here, and I brought out some stuff. One of my favorite 1911s, of course, on the table here. And what is it? What brand is it? Well, it's a little bit of everybody, really. This is my 22. My 22 that I kind of built and constructed up, and this is really neat. I had gotten this idea from a friend of mine that lives in Hawaii back home, and he done something like this. And what this is it's a Kimber slide conversion unit that Kimber, I think they still make them, and it is aluminum, and it's got, you know, a stainless barrel, and it's a 22 conversion. It's designed to go on any of your 1911s and basically convert it and shoot 22 out of it because it's cheaper. Now here's the wonderful thing about this. It is on a aluminum alloy frame, and that makes this that is what the package is. That's the ticket. I put it together. I bought the frame as a stripped frame, not an 80% or nothing. I don't play with that stuff. I bought it completed, serialized from Para. It's actually a Para Ordnance frame. I got it from Sarco website, and that's where I bought the frame. It was only like a couple $100 or something like that, to tell you the truth. It was all completed, all done. So I put the parts in it, and boy, it was interesting trying to get everything fitted and done to it and everything. So I put all the parts on it. It's got, like, you know, spring-fill armory, thumb safety. It's actually got a couple old World War II, you know, slide stop and triggers in it, and a magazine release. Wilson Combat grip safety that I'm going to eventually fit one of their bulletproof ones to it. and get a better fit. This is just a cheap drop-in, well, not cheap, but just a drop-in one that doesn't need to be fitted or anything. So there's a slight gap over there. I just didn't even worry about it. Now the mainspring housing is by Colt, and the reason I chose this is because it's polymer. And I know that, I had a box of these things because I was always changing them out. This is all the way back in the Hawaii. I was always changing those out and throwing them in boxes and getting rid of them, because who would want that? But actually in this case it worked out, because that's a big chunk of metal. The whole point of this was to make this thing as light as possible, and that's what's neat about it. Is it is light. It's really lightweight. It's fun to shoot, and it gives a little bit of a recoil, a little bit, not much, but better than just a all steel 1911 or something. So that's a plus right there, and that was definitely the objective here. Of course, I made the grip sore, and I made a kind of a off bone color with the gray markings on there, and I did the frame. If you look and see, you can clearly see the frame is a gray frame. I did the paint job on that, and then of course with the two-tone. I love that two-tone look. That's a little bit darker than this silver. So but that one's one of my favorites, and you can there's other ones you can get. I've got a Wilson Combat conversion unit that I got. I honestly, it's old and they don't make it anymore, and it's the reason kind of why I hang on to it. But I don't think they're the ones that made them. I think they had somebody make them for them, and they just etched their name on it. I do believe that's how those were constructed. I don't think the Wilson made them themselves. It's kind of a funky job the way it comes apart and goes, and I gotta say the Kimber unit is a better unit than that one. There's a lot of different ones out there, and I think Kimber makes the best because they're really close to just basically a standard 1911 slide without getting too wild and crazy and all that. Something else that I'm not like a hoarder for same, but this is something that I did notice. Like for instance, so the local shop, one of my local shops in town, I hope that they continue to stay open, but there is like kind of a small fear that it looks like they're in the inevitable with anything, nothing is going to be around forever, and that's where I get a lot of my unique brass and stuff. So this is for my 3840 single action. So I went down and picked up a couple of these, or 100 pack of the brass, Starline brass, and I know you can get them online and whatnot, but I like to support the local shops, so I went down there and picked up a couple of these just because I just don't want to, I don't know, nobody's going to be around forever, and sometimes you're going to need this stuff. And I've been there where I didn't have enough brass on stuff, like when I first started getting into 45 long Colt or whatever you want to call it. I didn't have any of those, and I was trying to, buy up any pieces I could. I think I had one box of S&B brass that I've had forever, and some of those pieces are still floating around in the circulation of my 45 Colt brass, and they're still going. And I don't load these things very hot, so it kind of prolongs the life of these things, especially when you got bottleneck stuff like this, the 3840, the 4440, because that area on the top, there's not very thick, and it's it's easy to buckle the cases. It's easy to split them eventually over the course of shooting them all the time. So it's something to keep an eye on. The other thing is, I get a question about this all the time, and it's about the Cobra grips that I got for the 1911 replicas from the movie Cobra with Sylvester Stallone. And I'm a big fan of that because that was, my era of watching all those cool movies and everything. I remember going to the video store and they had the big poster of this, the cardboard cutout of Stallone. But I got these off of eBay, and they're made in Thailand. And when I got them, I wasn't too thrilled because it's a sticker. I mean, I'm just gonna flat out say the way it is. It's just, that's what it is. It's a sticker that they printed out and just stuck over these grips that they probably just made, and they just stuck the sticker on it, and there it goes. They ship it to you. Now I saw it. I mean, this is just this is a novelty. That's all it is. Just a novelty. I wanted it because of the movie. and every now and then I toss them on the gun and just have them. And I've shot them with it on there just to do, but I bought them as a novelty. You know, they're just kind of something to have. But I didn't like the fact that it was just a sticker. I felt like, you know, because they're not cheap. I think they're like $50 or something or more. They may have been more, and there might be more now. I don't know. And it takes a long time to get to you because they're where they're coming from. But I decided the first thing I did was I lacquered them, and I said, oh, maybe that'll do it. But I still wasn't thoroughly happy with that. So I actually coated them with a clear coat for countertops. You go to the store in any of the hardware stores, and the stuff that they use to coat a countertop or like a tabletop in a booth in a restaurant or something like that, that's what I used. And that's what I got on top of this. I just basically, I posted these up on a box with some toothpicks or popsicle sticks, I think it was, and I posted them up like that, and I just poured this stuff on it. I did a couple of coatings on it just to really seal this up really good. And it came out all right. It came out decent enough that it protects it, I feel, and it also gives it a look and a finish that is a little bit closer to the movie and not just some tacky grips that you may have just bought on eBay that looks like somebody put a sticker on it. Now, I'm not knocking them. I'm not knocking the people that made them because I'm glad that they made them because that's the closest that I've seen that we can get. I mean, there's another guy that does them that he etches them. I've not bought one of his grips, so I don't really know. I've never held them in my hands to actually physically look at them. But I think his name is Ryan or something, and he's on eBay as well. You know, this is the image that looks to me the closest that and I can see that I have them right here. not gonna go buy another pair or anything like that. I mean, they're just cool. I have them. I mean, they're floating around in the collection, so that's kind of it, But I get a lot of questions. What did you do? How did you coat them? Because I mentioned that before, and that's it. I mean, I went to the store and I bought the stuff for the countertops. I mean, it just whatever the coating is, that polyurethane that seals up wood basically, and it happened to work on that. And yeah, I did take a chance, not knowing if that was going to work or turn out to be a disaster. So you really don't know. But anyway, also I hope you guys enjoyed all the videos that were coming up over this past week that I was not actually present. I had worked really hard on the prior week before, a couple of weeks before, and shot a bunch of material and everything like that so that you guys had some stuff to watch, keep you entertained on the channel, because in the end that's what it's all about, entertainment, and we have fun, we hang out, we read comments from one another, we share things like this York's Wax products or any of the other stuff that's out there, and none of it, I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, I like using Ballistol because it doesn't seem to bother your hands or anything like that. It's non-carcinogenic. It's water soluble, and I have not had issues like, and I mean, a lot of you have chimed in too, all the way from Texas to Florida, all these humid states. I'm, from Hawaii, where the humidity was very, all these places are high, the salt in the air. Never had rust problems when I started using it. Other products I did, but not with Ballistol, so that's why I keep using it. Another thing too, like I stay away from, I try not to use harsh solvents when I can. I stay away from that stuff. And if you do, please glove up. I mean, use some kind of gloves because that stuff is nasty. My father told me a story, because he was in the painting industry, told me a story about a guy that used to wash his hands at the end of the job with paint thinners and acetones and stuff like that. Wash himself with a rag and that stuff, put the rag in his pocket and everything. That stuff absorbs into your skin. You're absorbing it. And anyway, that guy wasn't feeling good one day. This is a story from him that he told me. And the guy wasn't feeling good one day. He went to the doctor and he found out that, I mean, this guy had cancer and there was nothing they could do. I mean, it was done. I mean, I think he said the guy expired in like a few weeks after that. So just, I'm cautious of that kind of stuff already. I already enjoy eating junk foods as it is. So you got to do what you can where you can. So, but that's such is life, right? So anyway, we'll catch you next time. Thanks for hanging out on the radio, and we'll see you next week.